Oh, I gotta have one.
Oh,
The Rays thinks that is the greatest mascot.
The most fun I have is when I come to work every morning and I walk through the doors of Davis College. This building is filled with memories of students that have made their lives better and made the lives of everybody they've touched better. So Davis College has a very special place in my heart. I also absolutely enjoy and appreciate working with the best faculty in the universe and the best staff. There's nothing that makes you look better than good people to work with. So thanks to all of them and our beautiful building, we are in the center of the mission of the University of South Carolina to eliminate illiteracy in this state. Thank you.
The painting, who did the painting?
It's been a wonderful period for me to be associated with the first the college and then the school, and to continue to be a part of that. And I'm just really grateful that I've spent so much of my life in Davis College, in probably one of the best offices on campus. Mine was a corner office with windows on two sides, and I could watch all the activity going on outside my office.
But probably the most memorable was the time that we approved our distance education courses, that we would take our courses on television, and I've been pleased with that decision ever since.
Here, that's good. There you go.
I guess my most memorable time was the period when we had the Pigeon Wars in Davis College. And they went on for several weeks, and it was quite intense. And you'll have to get Dan Barron to explain that to you.
The famous Pigeon Wars at Davis College began because we wanted to eradicate the infestation of pigeons that were that had their nests just up here on the gables. And the interesting thing is when you go to the second floor, you could raise up the window, and right there would be the pigeon nests. And so what we did was we practiced abortion, I'm afraid, is that we would take the pigeon eggs and do various things with them, not just throw them away, because we didn't feel that it was appropriate for this life form to just be tossed away. So people would find them in their boxes, people would find them with a half-open door, sort of put on top of the door, and then they'd push it open and fall down on them, perhaps even fall down on their head. You know, gosh, it was awful. And I'm sure glad that I didn't participate in that. It was Bob Williams and Charles Curran. Dan Barron had nothing to do with this. It was Charles Curran and Bob Williams who were involved with the Pigeon Wars.
To thank everybody, but we especially want to thank two special guests who are here today. And the first one I would like to introduce is someone without whom this building might have been named something other than Davis College. I'd like you to meet Professor R. Means Davis.
Thank you, and welcome to my building. I do have a few remarks prepared, but as you can see from my headshot taken about 10 years ago, and from my suit, I'm old. So I have written some things to say, and I hope you'll bear with me. Thank you. In the period preceding the revolution, as I recall, there were no inducements for the rich settlers of the coastal county to send their men, young men, for higher education. Because, not in Columbia, because all their sons went to England, or Scotland, or Harvard, or Yale, or Princeton. When the war with England began, as I recall, the upper half of this province had more inhabitants than the lower half. And they had a special need for collegiate education. And it was to remedy this deficiency that it was proposed to establish a college here in Columbia. But I was privileged to research this institution, research the occasion. And this is what I wrote. And now I will read to you what I wrote. Here should be established one central college in which the youths of all the sections, all classes, and all creeds should meet as sons of a common mother to sit in one common lecture room, lodge in one common dormitory, and feed at a common table, and thus learn how to respect one another, to appreciate, if not to imbibe, the opinions of one another, and to form ties of perpetual friendship with one another. Today, we also form ties of perpetual friendship with one another. Here's a Health Carolina. You're supposed to say, here's a Health Carolina. I'm old, but I can still hear.
Thank you so much, Professor Davis. Now I'd like to welcome another special guest, Professor Havilah Babcock. As a member of the faculty of the English department, Professor Babcock inhabited the halls of Davis College between 1927 and 1964. We've also heard, Dr. Babcock, that you're quite a storyteller. So we were wondering if you would give us a few words of your humor and wisdom.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for everyone for being here today. I'm glad to be back among the living. Maybe some of you have heard of me. Maybe you've heard of some of the books I've written. I'm going to be talking about some of the things I wrote, from Tales of Quails and such. That's one of my favorites. The other one is My Health is Always Better in November. So I'm going to kind of give you an idea of some of my life and some of the experiences that I've had. First of all, many of you may know I grew up in Appomattox, Virginia. But I moved to South Carolina, and I've been living here most of my adult life. And since coming down here, I have adopted many of the customs of the strange tribes that inhabit this region. And I have become, I hope, and excuse me, but I'm going to take these glasses off. Most people put them on to see, but I'm going to take them off. Inhabit this region and have become, I hope, a passable South Carolinian. I have learned to eat rice and okra soup, sweet potatoes and baked possum, limping cake and hopping john. And I've also learned to imbibe limited quantities of that potent distillation of the swamps known as Berkeley County corn. Now seriously, I am proud of what the university has done. Back in 1937, I said, quote, "If you can't come to the university, then the university will come to you." And the University of South Carolina has always been a leader in the field of delivering off-campus classes using various technologies. And this school, the School of Library and Information Science, has been a big player in taking the university to others. That's great, because that means I get to go out and do even more hunting and fishing. So once again, I welcome you, and I wish you a great afternoon.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Yay!